Let's take you to the story on your screen there. Santako in KZN is hoping for a breakthrough during a meeting with provincial government officials today. The strike in Durban has left, as you can see there, thousands of commuters stranded this morning and looking for alternatives. The Metro has barred taxis without valid permits from operating on certain routes. Just last week, Metro Police impounded 25 taxis in Claremont for operating illegally. This follows violent clashes linked to turf wars with e-hailing drivers.
Discussions are going to resume today, and hopefully the MEC is going to form part of these ones, because seemingly as the head of transport, probably there could be something that he might be coming up with to address some of the little issues that are now hindering the progress on the discussions. But I think they've moved a huge mile in terms of engagements. And the affected areas are within and around eThekwini, which is the Durban metro vicinity or jurisdiction. That is where the challenge is. In other districts, operations, it's business as usual.
All right, let's get you the latest from our reporters who are tracking the story. Both Phila Mthembu and Nobuhle Modise are monitoring those developments since early this morning. Phila, let's begin with you. We can see that commuters are really struggling to find alternatives to the taxis that they would ordinarily take to and from work, school and healthcare facilities, for example.
Absolutely, Michelle. And what you are seeing behind me now, it is a Durban transport bus that has just arrived. And what I can also tell you is that already when it got here, to scores of commuters that were left stranded, it was already crammed up. But what you are seeing are, of course, the numbers of the commuters increasing in this particular bus as they are desperate to make their way to work and also to clinics, they have been telling us, and also inside, the CBD in Durban. Some of them have been telling us that they have been left stranded from as early as 5 o'clock in the morning, with quite a majority of these buses also just passing by and not, taking them in, as they are already full from some other areas as well. We were able to speak to some of the commuters who had been telling us the impact of this particular halt of these taxis operating here in Umlazi in the south of Durban, saying that some of them have also reached out to their superiors, to their bosses, their managers, who are not so understanding in some occasions. We had a conversation earlier on with one of the ladies here who told us that she had been fired from work because of her bosses not understanding of the situation, saying that some of them were not even aware that there's going to be these taxi operations being halted. As you know, that this announcement was made last night. So some of them made their way here to actually look for transport, thinking it would be a normal day for them, as they were not aware of what is to come. But we do understand that there's quite a number of other areas which are greatly impacted by this. We also spotted some Santako members here, basically seeing if there are any taxis operating, as you know, that they are in support of halting these operations. Another concern that we're able to get you on the ground is that most of these commuters aren't even able to afford e-hailing services, saying that the prices are actually exorbitant now due to the situation which is currently at hand, and also with the strike, us being told rather that the operations are still.
All right, it seems we're losing our connection there to Phila Mthembu, but let's continue to track the story, take you to Nobuhle Modise. Nobuhle, you are at an empty taxi rank, which is a sight to behold, isn't it? We're used to taxi ranks, especially at certain times of the day, being very, very busy. It's a massive impact for commuters. Phila tells us many commuters were unaware that there would be this withdrawal of services today, but also on people like vendors at taxi rank who depend on the influx of commuters for their business.
Of course, indeed, Michelle, a sight to behold. We started off in the Durban CBD at a taxi rank that services those who are going to KwaMashu, and even there, just before 6 a.m., it was already very empty. Even the vendors that you speak of standing there, helplessly unsure of how the day is going to go about. You must remember that for people like vendors, some of them really do depend on that income that they receive on the day to even, have a meal in the evening. So those people, for example, are being severely impacted. And we have been slowly moving from the CBD back into the township. We are now at KwaMashu. And as you said, the rank behind me just completely empty. And we've just, been moving around, documenting the situation and really trying to give you a sense of what these commuters who have been greatly, inconvenienced by this non-operation of minibus taxis, what they've really had to contend with. When we were at the Durban station earlier, what we noticed was that many of the buses now were being overloaded with even people hanging outside. I would assume that those would be the conductors, but the situation looked really, really uncomfortable to watch, where there were people hanging outside of a bus because the bus was that full. And this is what commuters have had to do. They've had to find alternative transport, like get on to the bus services and even using the train. We were at Durban station and we saw there was also quite a large number of people that were coming from the train station. I mean, even here as we are standing and reporting to you, Michelle, I've seen about at least 3 people come just to take a picture, I assume to show to their employers or whoever that they need to get to prove to them that indeed there is no transport for the day. The mode of transport that is the most used, throughout this region, the eThekwini region, which is what is impacted. And we know that following those meetings that took place, and according to that bite that you played from a Santaco official, the strike is continuing. But around 5:43 this morning, a statement came through from the eThekwini municipality, which painted a very different picture, also appealing, to the relevant stakeholders, to scale back on this strike action, which they have described as not strike action at all, but them just simply, making sure that their minibus taxis aren't operating for the day. And the reasons behind them not wanting to call it a strike or a stay away is because they feel that, their pleas have been falling on deaf ears. But seemingly the municipality is telling a different story, where it seems as though they found some kind of resolution. In the statement that they've sent out, they've put out some of those resolutions that they've come to, including strengthening law enforcement across all transport service providers, and for police to apply precautionary discretion in enforcement, as well as the full enforcement measures to apply to 7-seater vehicles operating outside legal parameters. This is the statement that has been sent out by the municipality, where they've also announced that a task team has been set up that does include certain taxi operators, as well as the transport department and the municipality, and there as well, just asking and appealing with the relevant stakeholders to stop the strike action that is continuing. And you heard then that bite, that Santaco officials speak to the fact that they're still in negotiations, they are still chatting about what some of the issues are, and they're hoping to find a resolution. And from that, we will then see minibus taxis then being operational in the region.
And as usual, commuters caught in the middle. Nobuhle, Modise, thanks for that update there in Durban.